My name is Michelle. For many of you that communicate with the support person, that's me on the chat and on the emails. Um, if you have been on my webinar before, today we're going to talk solely about our new feature that was released today. We've had people asking for this feature for the past 2 years, so it's very exciting. It's our cross-section and side elevation. And I'm also going to show you guys, we have a feature that was released a few weeks ago, our automatic fence. So we're kind of going to go over that a little bit. It's pretty simple. And if you have any questions, just feel free to use the chat on the on your screen, and I'll keep checking back. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to share my screen. And if please keep your questions within the cross section and elevation views. Towards the end, if you see something on my design that you want to just ask a quick question that's easier just to give your answer, feel free. If you have any questions beyond that, go ahead and send us an email at support@cedreo.com. All right, let's get started. All right, share screen. Okay. So as you can see, we have, if you're just logging on today or you haven't logged on just yet, you're gonna see some 2 pink dots in this area. One of them is a brand new section where it's plans detail, another one is plans. Plan is, the plan step now is divided into 2, and our plans section has, I believe, about 4 or 5 different sections. So we're gonna click on that first. You have your floor plan, your site plan, roof plan, elevation view, and cross-section views. So right now I have my layout already done. I worked on a little bit of the exterior, which is going to be on the site plan. Let me go here too. So this is a little bit of the exterior that I worked on. So when you go to your plan step, you're gonna automatically have the floors kind of already split up on here. So you can either add a floor plan, or you can click on the floors that you would like to edit. And once you click on it, let me go back. Once you click on that floor, it takes you to another screen that now you can solely edit or customize the floor that you're on. So I'm going to click on ground floor. And you also have the option in the right panel to change the name as well. So I can change the name of this floor to mezzanine level or first floor, or whatever you like to change it to. On this screen, you have the options to add plan options, and this is similar to the plan step where you could add dimensions, or if you wanted to show the area or you don't want to show the area. If I click on it, it takes away the area. It takes away any symbols. If I was to add symbols, takes away your dimensions on the side. If you had added your roof already, or if this was your terrain level, you'll have the roof on here. Or if you've added the roof on the ground floor, the option right here is to add or subtract it. So for now, I'm just going to add it on there. And in each floor, now you have the annotations and dimensions section on each floor. So as you know, we don't currently have electrical, plumbing, or framing blueprints or anything like that, or HVAC. We are working on adding it at a later date. But I always tell people, use our annotations to your advantage. So you can click on annotations and you can indicate where, let's say you want to make plans or electrical blueprints, right? And that's what you need. You can actually change this name of this floor plan to ground floor electrical. And you can use this arrow to point, where things are going to go, and then use the text to type in what you want to type in, right? So those are 2 things you can do. And then the dimensions, similar to the plan step before, click on your dimensions. You have your wall-to-wall dimensions. And this is just when you click on each point and determine where you want the dimension to be. And you have your manual dimension. So if it's not a wall-to-wall, you just want to know, let's say, the dimension from here to here, you click on it, and now it gives you can move it and you can zoom in to see the dimension. And each of, as you click on the dimension, now you also have the option to change the font size, and it goes up to 80. You just if you have a smaller screen, just scroll down to see the numbers, and the color. You can change the color as well. So that's now it's different for each plan. So once you're done with that, you can download each individual page if you like for the plan. However, you still have the option when you save it, go to your project information page to download the PDF blueprints of your plan. Now, we're going to get down to the cross section and elevation, side elevations do not have, they're not included in the project information generate blueprint option. So you will have to download it on this screen. Once you're done editing your ground floor, you're going to click on back to all plans. And then you can continue. The same thing goes with adding, for the first floor. Same exact options. All right. The next one is your site plan. I already have my site plan on there. So you can go and add a site plan, and all the different site plans that you have will show up here. I only have one. And sometimes it usually is just one on your plan, especially since our software is built for one home or one project, per file. You'll have one site plan on here, but it'll give you the options, and then you just click OK. I'm going to click cancel for now, just because I already have a site plan here. You also have the options when you toggle your mouse over each plan, you can delete it if you like. It's not gonna delete your layout. It's just gonna delete it from this plan option. All right. Same options for your site plan. Now, the only difference is with the site plan, you can add, if you had a traced image that you included on your layout step, you can add it here. I don't have one of those, so it's not necessary for add it. But you can zoom in. Make sure, I always say this on each and every plan, make sure your compass rose is closer to the house, because what's going to happen is when you download your plan or when you generate your blueprint, the software is going to try to capture everything on this screen. So if your compass rose is all the way down here, your plan is going to be zoomed all the way out with the compass over here. So just always make sure your compass rose is closer to the house. And kind of like a little bit of a caveat, to do that, you want to go to your layout step, make sure you're on your terrain, and then you can click on the compass rose to move it. So just FYI, go back to the plans. And for every change you make, when you go to the plan, it's going to refresh. So you see my compass rose moves just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to go back. All right, so everyone's new thing that they're interested in is our elevation views. So I'm going to add an elevation view. There's nothing been added yet. I haven't added elevation, and it's not automatic because you have to choose which elevation views that you like to add. So I'm going to click on here. Now you have 4 cameras on different sides of the house. So for the front, you click on this camera. It's kind of like a flat 3D view of the house. So it's not a 2D plan. In the 2D plan, it's going to be a 3D view of the house. You click on your elevation. On the right, you can rename it. So now you have the option it says elevation 1. You can name front elevation. So for this example, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so we'll put front elevation. And then you have your options for your camera. So you have the options to expand the left framing of the camera. Let's put it back. And as you see, as I move it, you see how the plan moves as well. Expand the front frame of the camera and the right frame. So those are your options that you have. You can, as you click on any side, it gives you the different sides of the elevation. So I'm going to do the front for now. And I'm going to click OK. And this is your front elevation. See the name that I renamed is right here. Now to add dimensions, now you have the options to add your annotations, text, lines, and dimensions to your elevations. So I'm going to click on dimension. You can do the manual drawing where it automatically sets the line. If I click on here and just kind of bring it down, you can do that. But, or you can do it like, you click another one, or, which is going to be the easiest option, this elevation dimension now, this arrow allows you to set the dimension, the elevation from the ground up. So this part of your garage from the ground up is 10 feet. This part up here is 23 feet and so forth. So you just keep, see, down here is 0, and you can just keep making those elevations, you know, as you like. Then you have your option now, back to annotation. You can add text. So anywhere you can say, you can add what this material is that you used, material that you chose for your roof, the type of window that you chose, the type of garage that you chose. That option now is, since this is a 3D flat view, so I know a lot of people want to know how they can show the materials and furnishing in your plan. This is kind of, this is a way to do that. You won't have your furnishing and the materials in your 2D plan because that's specifically strictly for blueprints. But for your elevation and your side views, your cross-section elevation, you have the option right now to add these different texts and arrows in there. I'm going to delete that. And as you know, with everything in our software, the right panel is extremely important. People overlook it. This is where you make customizations. This is where you can change the name. This is where you can add or subtract, you know, pretty much anything. In our furnishing step, that's where you change the colors of your furnishing, the size and everything. So just remember, the right panel is the same thing in the plan step. As you click on your front elevation, side elevations, you now have the options in the right panel. You can change the name again if you like. You can click to include the dimensions, or you can click to not include dimensions. But this is where you download your plan, because after everything, when you exit out, this is now going to be on your project information page. So you have to download your plan. You download this here. So this is where you click on the download. And then you can choose another elevation if you like. Go back and choose this one. So I'm going to go back here, choose another elevation as well. Let's go on the side. And the same thing, the same options. So you can say left side elevation. Click here, and now you have this exact same options. Create your elevation here, add any kind of manual dimension that you like, and so forth. Does anybody have any questions for that for now? Let me check. Right. Yes, so we do have a tutorial. We have a whole section on our knowledge base that's solely on the plan step, and it's going to have all the updated tutorials for the elevation and cross sections on that section of the knowledge base. So you can always check back, and it's already live right now with those different tutorials. All right, so no more questions. Let me check back. All right, I'm going to go back here. All right, now scroll down for my cross-section view. I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to, this is, zoom in. You see the camera is set in the middle of the house. So, you know, for your cross-section. Now with this, you can change the angle of the camera. And the reason that we did it where you don't click on all the sides is because sometimes people want a diagonal cross section or something. So now you have the option to turn the angle. And as you see in this top right, as you change the angle, you get the different cross section elevations as well. So you can continue to do this. If you turn it this way, you can flip the camera. It's like this. Oh, no, it's not straight. All right. You can flip the camera for it to look towards the back of the house. And then similar option like before, now you can increase the framing on your left side or your right side. And that's going to show your ground. It's going to show your base. Something else to note, let me go here. Something else to note, for my current plan, I don't have any raised elevations on the plan. However, if you were to have raised elevations, like your slope going up or down, it's going to show the ground and it's going to show those elevations on your plan. So for now, you see down here, I just have the flat ground, the flat surface. But for your plan, you're going to show the different slopes once you do change your elevation. Something else to note, on the elevation, you have, on the cross-section views, you have your slab option right here. So you have you have your ground, and then you have the slab. So this shows you how far up your slab is. And I know sometimes people want to, the garage might be lower than the rest of the house. So that shows in your cross section. Let me see, do I have any furnishing inside of my house? No. Let me add some furnishing. So then that way you guys can see what it'll look like once you add once you do the cross section with furniture inside. And let's add a color on the wall. Okay. All right, so with the furniture added, this is what it will look like. So you will see, you won't be able to see like the little details, but you like from every angle. But it depends on the side of the house that you're looking at your cross section. So for this, I'm gonna go inside so you can see. All right, this is what inside of the house looks like, but then the plan, the cross section does not have the wall color, but you do see the furnishing that's in here, right? You see the big furnishing because you don't see the lamp right here, but you're able to see the couch, you're able to see the island, and the chairs and everything else. So that's also included. Now, I know some people are going to ask me, can I see a top view of my furnishing inside? Not right now, but we are working on that. We are working on being able to give you a kind of a blueprint version of what your furniture will look like. But for right now, this is what you're able to see. And same thing, you can add dimensions. You can add the elevation. You can add manual dimensions. You can add text and arrows and all of that in there. And then same thing, you'll go ahead and download your blueprints down here. I'm going to go back. Another thing that it's new. Switch screens. All right, another thing that is new is your plan details. So now for your plan detail step, this is similar to what the plan step used to look like. This is where you have you can add the symbols in. This is where you have your wall types. You can add the paint colors of each room, and not the paint walls. So sometimes blueprints will have, if this is a room, it's going to be represented by blue. If this is an outdoor space, it's going to be represented by this color. So that's what that room paint is. And then you also have your surface area. So your surface table will be under plan details now. Let's see if anybody has any questions. When will all these plans, including cross-section in the blueprint? Well, the cross-section elevations, it's available now. You should have it in your planner as we speak. If you've had your planner open since last night and been working on it, having logged out, I suggest you log all the way out and open it back up because it was reflected today. It was added today. That's why we're doing the webinar today. Yeah. In the main project blueprint. What do you mean the main project blueprint? Because this is the main once you download each plan, it's going to be a PDF. It's downloaded as a PDF. So what do you mean the main project blueprints? Are you referring to the generate blueprints option? Because if that's what you're referring to right now, it's not an option because the cross section and elevation views is available for all our international and US users. As a lot of you know, we also have a French portion of our software, and it's not available to all of our French users because they're on a completely different type of software. You guys are on the fully SaaS online software. They have a different system. So we cannot add it to the generate blueprints because the way to generate blueprints will include everything that's included for them as well. So that's why it's not added to that part yet. And we're not sure when they're going to add it because separating it will kind of change the software because, like I said, a lot of our French users do not have access to the features that you guys have access to. All right. Another thing that we currently have now, I'm going to go back here. It's in our roof step. Now it's going to it looks a little bit different. So when you click on your roof, now you have different options for the base height, the angle, the slope, and the thickness. The thickness and the base height is something that we did not have before. And the base height is referring to, as you know, in our roof step, we always recommend, or it's the rule of thumb, to add a level with exterior walls for the roof. So if your project is only one floor, like my project is only a 1-story house, you still need to add a floor above that with exterior walls for the roof. So once you do that and you add the roof, the walls automatically collapse because the walls are used to support the roof. So it automatically collapse. So this base height is referring to moving those walls up and down, right? So you can look here. I want you to look here as I move. Let me zoom in some more. The base height. If I increase the base height, do you see how the walls are moving up? So that's what it's referring to now. And the same thing, the slope and the angle remains the same as before. So if you increase the slope, increase the height, the angle increases as well. Now the roof thickness. We've had some people that wanted us to include a feature to have a thicker roof. Now you have the option to increase it up into 5 inches. So this is what it will look like here. And if I decrease it, this is usually what it was before. So now it's thicker here. Let's go to your plan step, and I'm going to go to the roof plan. Now in your roof plan, you will be able to show the slopes in degrees or percentages. You can include your compass rose, and it's going to have the arrows of where each slope is. So the arrows going down, the bottom slope arrows is going to be on your roof plan right now. And you also will have the materials because it kind of gives us a better view of how the different slopes are on your plan. So, and once again, the same option, you go ahead and you can download it from this screen. You can add dimensions, manual dimensions as well. You won't have the elevation dimensions because you're looking from the top down on your roof. But you also, like I said, you have the manual drawing dimension options like everything else and the text. All right, go back here. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, no questions so far. I spoke earlier about we had a new feature that was released a few weeks ago. There was no webinar about it. It's pretty, kind of straightforward and pretty simple. And that's in our exterior step. And that's under the boundaries, we have our fence option. So the fence is similar to doing the same thing as your hedge or your low wall, but now it's just automatic versus before where you had to select each portion of the fence from the furnishing step. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down to your terrain. You're going to go down to your terrain. This is going to be your site plan. And then you're going to hit fence. And I already have a fence, but I'm just going to draw it out again. And for every click in the fence creates a turn. I want to stop here. It automatically gives you this white picket fence option, but you do have the option to click on it and you can go to select if you want a railing type, if you want wall mesh, or if you want a panel. So for this, I'm going to click on wall mesh. And then on the bottom, you have the different options down here, what type of wall mesh you like. So I'm going to let's click on this one, the rigid mesh. And then you can increase the fence elevation. So, oh no, wait, I'm clicking on the wrong one. There we go. So now you can increase the fence elevation. But before that, where it says low wall, you're going to click on that and you're going to add a low wall. You don't have to, but you can add a low wall to the bottom of your mesh fence. So it'll look like this. This is what it'll look like. And now with this option, I'm gonna go back and select it. With this option, you can now scroll down and you can increase the elevation of your fence. And it's gonna raise it above, it's gonna do one or two things. If there's no low wall, it's gonna raise it above the ground, but it's still gonna keep the metal in the ground. If there is a low wall, it's just gonna raise it above the low wall. And you can change the orientation of it just depending on how you want it to be. And you can change the low wall height as well. So it doesn't have to be this short. It can be taller if you like, or it can be shorter. Then you have the option to change the colors of the mesh, the low wall colors, as well as like the posts and so forth. There's two low walls to this type of fence that I picked. So that's why you see two different types. So I can click on this, change the post to white. It'll change that. Change the low wall to a brick color. It'll change that. And you also have the option in the material step to choose any of the materials here. And you can always, because if the material that you want is not in your exterior step, you can just come to your materials and search for the material that you want. So if I wanted a brick, but I wanted a different type of brick, now I want a black brick. Go to brick, let's select black. Now you have your black options. You can click on one of them and you just change your fence, low wall. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Danielle, yes, the recording is going to be sent. It's automatically sent to you at the end of our session. So just look in your email after we're done, and you should get it pretty soon. I realized some of the ground floor materials were missing in a current project when opening the studio tab. When these new tabs were added, had to add back. Is this supposed to happen? Well, it's happened to a couple of users, haven't happened to a lot of them, but we just found that once there was an update, certain things was just deleted or certain materials went away. We don't know why. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it doesn't mean your project, it's a bug in your project. You did the right thing. Just go ahead and add it back in. All right. Let me make sure. Anybody have any last questions before we get off today? Let me make sure I went over everything. All right, floor plan, site plan, roof plan, elevation, cross section, plan details, symbols, wall types. I believe I did. Roof thickness. Oh yeah, actually another thing. When you increase the thickness of the roof, I have it already increased. It should show in your cross section elevation. So you see the thickness of the roof increased here once I increased it. So just the FYI. All right. The calculus are divided by materials, like knowing the area of the floors with the materials on the walls. No, we do not calculate with the materials and stuff in there just yet. So if it's something that you're interested in knowing more about the materials that you're using versus like the surface area of the space, I suggest you talking to Zach to connect you with our third-party partners, cross certified, because they're the ones that we work with to get you more information about the materials and things that you use in your projects that you use in Cedreo. I want to see if you can make a right angle in the elevation view. All right, let's go elevation. All right. You're talking about here, you want to make a right angle. You can only make the front, back, and side to side because you can't change the angles of these. You can change the framings and how far back the camera comes on this. But if you wanted to make a right angle, I will suggest it won't be the elevation view. It'll be the cross-section view, however. I will suggest you using the cross-section views to make that right angle elevation. And then possibly just moving the camera. There's always a workaround. So you can change your angle. Let's make it 45. All right, you can change the angle to 45 degrees or whatever degree you like it to be. And then just instead of the camera being inside of the house for a cross section, you just bring the camera out. So instead of it being like this, just bring it outside of the house. And it's supposed to be a cross section, but this is my workaround for getting you that angled elevation view. All right. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, this is going to be emailed to you. If you have any questions, contact me at support@cedreo.com. All your emails come to me anyway. And that's it. All right. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.